Hi, my name's Anna, and I want to take a minute to tell you about Jesus and how good he's been to me and why you should get to know him too. I started out in church. Even from the time I was 3, I remember going to Sunday school. It was always just there. You always went to church on Sunday. I grew up in the Bible Belt of Texas, where if you weren't a Christian, you weren't a Texan. Unfortunately, the church that I went to taught me that Jesus was very conditional with his love, and that you always had to do something to earn it or to work for it, and that you'd never actually get all of his love because he was always going to be a little bit mad at you. That kind of became embedded in my mind for a long time. So I started making some bad decisions with my life. By the time I was 15, I was starting to question if God was real and considering atheism because I couldn't understand him. And I didn't think he wanted to understand me either. So I was going to this different church, and they had a youth group, and this one, I think it was a Wednesday night, they were singing this song called How He Loves Us. And I remember it being the first time that I felt loved. I wouldn't say that I was like completely convicted into being a solid Christian at that point, but I would definitely say that it sparked a curiosity in me. So for the next 4 years, I dealt pretty terribly with depression and suicide and just really hating my life, but at the same time like wanting to know if God cared enough, I guess, to save me. And Jesus kind of sucked, in my opinion, a little bit. So I avoided him, but at the same time I was so curious. Like there was always this part of my heart that just I guess just wanted to know him. And that's probably because he was pursuing me and trying to get to know me too. Whenever I was finally 19 years old, and I told God, I said, look, if you've called me to ministry, I'm gonna make one last ditch effort, and I'm gonna go to this Bible college in this place in Colorado, and if I don't encounter you here, then I'm just gonna end my life because I don't want to do this anymore. Needless to say, God's kind of a show-off, and he showed up during the 3 years I was actually at that Bible college and just did radical things in my life, and I discovered grace. I got to draw closer to him, and I got to understand what I'm passionate about, which is just people and who I am in him, and the fact that none of my mistakes or anything that I've ever faced in my life have ever defined me, and they don't have to. Ironically, during the time that I was here at Bible college, there were a few summers in between my school years where I dealt with depression again. I dealt with suicide and cutting and self-mutilation and different things as a Bible college student, which you can find it difficult to talk about because, in Bible college, I guess there's a certain persona that goes on. But I remember I was sitting on my bed this one night. I had written my suicide note, and I was actually trying to figure out which one of my 2 suicide plans I was going to go through with that night. And God spoke to me, and he said, there's a difference between knowing that you're loved and allowing yourself to accept it. I could tell you all sorts of scriptures in the Bible about how I knew he loved me, but I never thought I was worthy enough to accept it, so I never let myself embrace the idea that I actually was loved. So I guess that night was whenever I actually started to release things and started to get over just addiction. I think I would even call it an addiction to self-hate because it's all I knew. And God started to break those chains on my life, and I've grown radically in love with him, and I've learned, especially over the last few months in my life, that that he's just really good, and that he's not just God, but that he's a father. And he's been a father for a long time, and he cares about his kids. So don't let the enemy lie to you like he did to me and convince you that this life isn't worth living, or that God doesn't care about you while you're in this life, because it's a lie. So that's my story, and I hope you guys just get to draw closer to him and turn to the Bible for what his heart looks like for you.